welcome to the program.
Thanks.
Things are going your way, more or less, aren't they?
We're off to a good start.
Yeah.
8-1, the top of the league.
Yeah, 8-1. Let's talk about the one.
Let's not.
That brought the streak to a halt. How many games was the streak?
I think it was 21.
21. And it did the... At any time, did the streak become a burden in any sense? Were you thinking about it? Were you not thinking about it? People wouldn't stop asking you about it. Was it a factor? Was it not a factor?
Well, we certainly had a lot of questions as players. I think the way we finished last year, 15-0,
Right.
15 wins to end the season and win the Super Bowl, and then 6 wins to start the season. It was a great accomplishment, but at the same time, it really didn't do much going into Pittsburgh that week and getting our butts handed to us.
Oh, yes. Now, let's talk about the Pittsburgh game and Ben.
Why do you want to bring that one up?
I want your. Now, here's a guy who's he just went to like junior high and then turned pro. Wasn't that it? he's like about 15 years old, and he's now. Well, I think he's won 8 in a row, hasn't he, as a starter?
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Yeah. And what is your assessment when you see that guy? I mean, he really looks like he's the real deal, doesn't he?
He certainly does. He certainly does. He's a big, strong guy. Seems like he's a great leader, and that the team really plays hard for him. They've got a great team, and I think the way he's been playing, he gives them a great chance to win every week.
Right. And what about this nonsense? It was last Sunday, or this Sunday, with Cleveland and Pittsburgh, when the guys at Cleveland were talking about they were going to knock his head off. Now, is there a place? Is there a place for that kind of thing in football?
Well, I tell you, if they're not trying to knock your head off, then you got a problem. I mean, they're coming hard every week, and the problem is, the more they hit us, the more they get paid. So it's a pretty good incentive for those guys to come tear our heads off.
Yeah. So how are things? What is the move? What's the deal with Belichick? I have a theory about Belichick that he's nuts. Is he nuts?
I don't know. You had him on your show.
He kind of, you looked right into your eyes, and I thought I saw a nut guy in there, you know? he seems like he's one of these guys. He's so transfixed by football, and he seems to know everything, doesn't he?
He does. He does. Most of the time, comes in every week, and he really says, guys, this is what we need to do to win. And when we usually do those things, we do win. Mm-hmm. He's a great coach. He's obviously proven himself to be one of the best of all time, but he's a stickler for details.
Does he scream a lot?
When he's mad.
Yeah.
When he's mad.
And what will make him mad? What kind of things will do that to him?
When something's not perfect.
Right.
It's usually the way it goes.
So he's a perfectionist.
Very much so.
Yeah. Is it possible to play the game of football without being angry, or are you always angry? Or is angry the enemy of a football player?
He's pretty much always angry. I'd say for us, there's a certain sense that goes into it. From my standpoint, playing quarterback, you probably need to be a bit more poised and under control. But those defensive players, they're all pretty nuts.
Yeah, and they're just getting beat up every single snap of the ball, aren't they? Every play they're getting knocked around.
Yeah, the offensive defensive line is.
So that would make me angry after a while.
You'd have to be, all those bumps and bruises.
Do you have the thing in your helmet where you're listening to the sidelines? Are people talking to you in your helmet?
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes too much.
Yeah, and is that the way you would like it to be?
It's the way it is now. It's such a different game now than it was, even 10 or 15 years ago, where, now we go into each game with 100 and 150 plays. Right. So you need somehow for the coaches to communicate that to the players on the field, and that's by way of the coach in the helmet.
Now, what happens if, is it Belichick you're listening to, or your offensive coordinator?
The offense coordinator.
Yeah, offensive coordinator. And he suggests...
You usually hear Belichick from the field and yelling, "What are you doing?" But I'm just looking, pretend I didn't hear him. Like, well, what's the play? I didn't hear you.
It's going to be fun going home, isn't it? Okay, so they give you a play. They call a play. For example, what's a play? Give me how would it come over the headset?
0 out slot right, 335 max pace throwback chip flare.
Holy crap, are you kidding me?
That's why we needed,
Oh my God, I had no idea. I thought it was just like go down 20 yards and head for the sideline.
Make it right at the fire hydrant.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And each play, the coordinates for each play, are that complicated?
Pretty much. You need it to be. I mean, we're spending a lot of time in meetings each week trying to get this thing right. So it tends to be much more detailed than what the casual fan probably sees.
Do you have the power to override what is sent into your helmet?
That's usually when Coach Belichick yells so silent, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Now, what about this scenario? What about they give you that play and you see something on the field and you think to yourself, that play ain't going to work now because there's a shift here. You go ahead and run the play and it doesn't work. Then do you get it the other way? What's the matter with you? Didn't you see what they were doing? That play was never going to work.
Sometimes indirectly I'll walk to the sideline and look at my coach with this look that just says, what were we doing right there? But not too often. They're usually pretty good about getting us the right plays and doing the right thing.
Is football as difficult a sport as it seems to be, or is it just that Belichick and you guys are so much better than everybody else?
It's pretty tough. Yeah. It's tough. Each week, I think that the thing is it's so competitive now with the rules of football and the way that the league has made professional football, with each team spending the same amount of money and the players change the team. Every team is so talented. So I think when you have a coach like ours and a team that plays as hard as ours does, I think in a lot of ways we feel very confident that is going to be the best way for us to go out and win these games.
Does a guy like you, do you have trouble getting dates?
I used to.
You used to.
Before I started playing quarterback.
Yeah. Now, something serious I want to touch on. Do you know Paul Tagliabue?
I do know who he is.
I got this idea. Maybe you heard about this earlier. Don't you think that would be tremendous? Run 2 plays simultaneously.
I was listening, and it seems like you put a lot of thought into this.
I have put a lot. Yes.
You just don't enjoy the game that much as it is?
Well, there is no off position on the genius switch. But it would.
You are right.
What about when you see a guy like Peyton Manning, and again they were playing the Houston Texans, and the score was like 107-14 or something, and he passed for 20 more touchdowns. Yeah. But the Colts defense. Oh my God! Come on, get a defense, don't you? Well, you don't want them to get a defense.
No, we certainly don't.
Yeah.
We played them to start the year.
I know you did. Yeah. I know you did.
Thanks for bringing that one up.
Yes.
Trying to get away from that Steeler talk.
That's right. And then pretty much the same thing happened in the regular season when you played them last year. Yeah. It came down to like a gold line thing at the end of the thing. But all of that dancing around that Peyton Manning does, does that mean anything? Is that useful?
Probably. He's in a first-round pick, and he's really lived up to that billing. He's just a tremendous player. I think I watch him, and he's one guy that I really look up to as a quarterback. He's always doing the right things, make great decisions.
So when you guys have gone head-to-head, what is the record? The Patriots up on the Colts?
I think so. I don't think they beat us yet.
Oh, how about that?
Not that I'm counting or anything.
Yeah, of course not. Later I'll...
you must be a Colts fan, right?
Well, sure, the Indianapolis Colts. My God, what else would I be? Thank you very much. I have some diagrams of my 2-play simultaneous double quarterback system that I'd like you to take a look at. And when we come back, I guess you're going to heave balls into taxi cabs. Is that what they told you?
I'm doing something.
This will be very exciting. Okay, here we are. We're out under the marquee of the Broadway, the Ed Sullivan Theater. Tom Brady, it's the Late Show Quarterback Challenge. Cabs? All right, send in the cabs. Anytime you want to go, Tom. Here comes the first cab. Put it in there. Oh, that's easy. You got it in there?
0 for 1.
All right, here we go. Take it again.
It's better when these guys have arms. Oh for 2.
It's fun, though, isn't it? Here we go. This time for sure. Here
All right, let's hit one of these.
All right. This is your
they
final
better keep
chance.
going until I get one.
This is your final chance.
All right, let's get the last one.